Hello, hello guys. Good morning to everyone. And today's our part is again object-oriented programming with Java, and we were been learning about the few concepts in object-oriented with Java. So yesterday we are been learning about some kind of arrays, right? So in which we are been learn about single-dimensional array and we are been learn about multi-dimensional array. And today we are going to see a few examples on multi-dimensional array today. Okay. So, how we can find the multi-dimensional array? I mean, I have given you an examples of yesterday, right? How do you read an elements to a multi-dimensional array and how do you print those elements? Today I am going to show you a couple of examples. How do you work with this kind of arrays? So, what are the kind of questions you can get in interviews to solve it, or what kind of questions you will get in a machine task to complete the examples? So, I am trying to show you one or two examples today. So, then after that we are going to shift to the next concept. Okay. So, now let me show you the screen one. So, you will understand how this particular arrays can be worked out, right. So, the first thing is I will try to import a package called lang package, and trying to get all the classes of lang package, right. So, we are going to discuss some more classes of lang package in the next couple of days, but by default I am discussing only a few classes here. So, I am trying to have a util package also. In this util package I am trying to discuss with only one class, that is a scanner class. Okay. So, in next couple of days we have a few more classes, and every class we have a few more methods to be discussed. That will be the next part. Okay. So, then I do have a class where the class name is or for example say demo 11, right. So, then every class required one public method, right. So, it is a time tomorrow, it is a time to discuss about the static methods, right. So, I do discuss every part of this statement. Okay. So, I will discuss about what is public, what is static, what is void and what is main. Okay. That will be discussed in tomorrow's class, because tomorrow's class is all about the different kind of methods, how do you write in Java. Okay. So, there are a few methods which is of static method, there are a few methods which is of non-static methods. Very important thing you need to remember for tomorrow's classes, how do you write a static methods, how do you write non-static methods and all. Okay. So, just you need to wait for one more day to complete the full process on the method called a main method. Okay. So, now let me write a simple thing what we are basically writing the simple classes and all. So, first thing is I am writing a class object of scanner class. The scanner class object name is C1, which requires system.in as the input parameter. Okay. So, this particular class always required input as system.in. And followed by this class I do write one multi-dimensional array which will be displayed in this particular format. Please remember or please remind this, yesterday's class I have defined an array which is of multi-dimensional in this particular format. Int data type followed by two what I can call it as square braces which represents you a multi-dimensional array, and followed by name of array is x, right. So, write some name x, integer, and you need to give two sizes here, one is row size and the other one is column size. I am giving the row size as 3 and column size is also 3. Now, first thing is I want to read a few elements. I want to read a few elements to this multi-dimensional array. How many elements we have in this particular multi-dimensional array? We have a 3 rows followed by we have a 3 columns, nothing but altogether we have 9 elements to be read from this particular array. So, whenever I want to read an array, so I just write a simple for loop which represents you, first one is row which starts from 0 and the less than the size of row, that is 3, and say r++. Hope you understand yesterday's class how do you execute inner for loops concept. Okay. So, for example, again integer, this will be starts from 0, and again these columns are less than for thrice, nothing but 3 columns we have, every row we have a 3 columns here, so that I want to repeat this leaf for every 3 times. Okay. Now, I want to read an element x of, I want to read an element for multidimensional array. Whenever I am reading a multidimensional array, you need to remember one thing yesterday. Okay. I remember there are the 2 things I have written. One thing is directly writing the array element, and the second one is directly defining an element in one place and calling them into another place. There are the 2 ways you can do it. I was showing you 2 ways also yesterday. Now, today I am just going to show you only one way. How do you read this particular elements here? Okay. So, now let me write a simple R row size followed by column size is equals to, where you have an object of scanner class here, you have a scanner class object, it is something call it as C1, right. Just write the C1 class object, and the method of this one will be a next int method. Okay. So, once you completed this, you will read all the elements, first row elements. After this, I will do one thing to understanding you very carefully, very easily. Then I will write a simple print line statement, nothing but after reading the first row, I want to make my cursor to be wait in the next line, not in the same line. Alright. So, this is for reading you all the elements of this particular array. Let them write it on the screen. Let them write it on the screen first. So, how do you write it? It is pretty simple. Again, write a for loop. Integer r is equals to starts from 0, r is less than 3 and say r plus plus. Again one more for loop which represents your column, column starts from 0, column is less than for 3 times and column plus plus. Hope you understand why I am writing 3 and 3 here, because the size of array which is defined here, it is something call it as 3 and 3. Whenever if I am defining the size and 3 and 3, first 3 represents row and every row represents how many columns here? 3 columns here. So, that I am writing this particular part. Say print x of row plus column, make them to next line, and let us say system dot out dot println. Okay, let me show you output up to this. Then after that, I will add a requirement to this particular program. Nothing but what questions they may ask you in interview, right? I will just show you that question, and I will show you the solution for that question also, right? Now let me save this particular program on some place of your application. Let us say D drive. I am creating one more folder. Say Java. Say Java test programs, right. Within this particular folder, try to create a file name. What is that file name we have given here? It is something call it as a demo11, right. Extension of this particular program is .java. Save this particular program. Alright. Once you save this particular program in the so and so location, go to command prompt first of all. Try to shift to the drive where your file is located. Okay. Now your drive is in D drive, and the folder name is Java followed by test. What is that folder name? Java test programs. Okay, now you are in Java test programs. Now let me clear the screen. Now let me show you the files with what is the files are located here. There is a file is located in this particular program, that is something called demo11.java. So whenever you see this, I just want to compile this particular program. So the compilation of this program is demo11.java. The javac command is used to compile your Java program first of all. Okay. Once you compile this program, you will have two files will be located in the same directory. One is .class file, one is .java file. This .class file in the sense your particular file is whatever the file you have created, that is got compiled successfully. Whenever the program is got compiled successfully, you will get the file name called demo1.class, right. So after that I do one thing, I will want to execute this program, let us say demo11, right, asking for a few elements, let us say 1, 2, 3, it is a first row element, give a space over there, 4, 5, 6, second row element 7, 8, 9, alright. So you have printed all these elements in this particular format, yes. Now the requirement of this particular program is something like this now, alright. So they ask you a question that, like just imagine this, alright. You have how many elements here located? All 4 elements, 9 elements is located in this particular format. Okay. Now after giving this question, they ask you to find print the sum of 159, or else they ask you to print the numbers of 159. Okay. So sometimes they may ask you to find the sum like 1 plus 5 plus 9. The other time they ask you a question like 1 cross 5 cross 9. There are the two chances. Maybe they ask you to find the numbers to print it, right. And the other question is same on the same multidimensional array. They ask you to question on print the sum of the elements which is located in that same part, that is 159. Sum of that it will becomes as 15. And here sometimes they may ask you a question that cross multiply these 3 elements, so that let me show you what is the expected output. If I want to print 159, so output is 159 directly. If I want to find the sum in the sense 9 plus 1, 10 plus 5, the output you need to print it as 15. Expected output of this particular program is 15. So cross multiply 1 cross 5, 5 cross 9, 45. Now they ask you to print the output as 45. This is a test case 1. Okay. Now let me show you one more test case to it. This is a test case 1, nothing but in this way you have this particular thing. And let me have one more test case like a 5, 1, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 and 7, 5 and 1. So this second test case value is, this is your second test case, right. Array is given in this format. They ask you to print the element sum like 5 plus 5 plus 1, it becomes as 11, right. Sometime they ask you to print the cross multiplication of these 3 elements, that is something like 5 cross 5, 25 plus cross 1, again 25, same 25 cross 1, 25. So this is a second test case. Like this they ask you to write a logic to print it, nothing but you have to write a universal logic to this particular program, so that the logic has to be written in such a way that any number of inputs you can pass it, that all the logic whatever you have written, the universal logic whatever you have written, that has to satisfy all the test cases which is supplied from the server also. Sometimes what will happen is, okay, for example, there is a code competition exams is going on in the market right now, like TCS will conduct a TCS Code Vita, right. What will happen is they will give you a question for you, right. They will show you 2 or 3 test cases for you, right. They will give you test case 1 and they will give you second test case, right. So the logic whatever you have writing for that particular program, the logic has to satisfy for the two test cases which is displaying on your screen, and also you need to satisfy, your logic has to satisfy the test cases which is invisible for you, are nothing but invisible, nothing but the test cases will not be visible for you, that will be hosted on your server. So in that case also you have to support your logic, you have to complete the logic properly. Am I very clear, guys? In that case, this is one of the program want to show you proper output for that particular program, right? Now let me show you the screen once, so that what is kind of logic we need to apply on this, right? Let just check it out here. You have a logic here. So what kind of logic to have? Okay, what kind of logic I have to write, or I have to write to get the elements of 5 and 5 and 5. Now let me first of all tell you what is the locations here. This is the 0th row, right? Yes, this is the first row, this is the second row, yes or no? And this is the first column, and I mean to say 0th column, this is the second column, and nothing but index is 1, this is the third column, index is 2. Just observe carefully, if I am giving the indexes to it, right, if I am giving, let me write it very clearly so that you will understand very easily. Okay, so now let me write it very clear and neat, so understand it carefully. So what is the elements here? 5 and say 6. Second location is 4, 5 and 6. Third location is 9, 8 and 1. If I am giving the index locations to this particular array, what is the index of first 5 element or 5th element? This index will be 0 and 0, nothing but it is 0th column as well as 0th row, right? And what is the second one? This is the 0th column, sorry 0th row, but first column, yes or no? And this one is 0th column and second index of column. Here this one is finished. Now let me go to the second one. It is a row of 1, column of 0, yes or no, right? Now second one is, what is the second location? It is the first row and first column, and this one will be first row, but column number is 2, right? And give a indexes to this also. This is the second row and 0th index of column, and go for the second one. It is a second row but index of 1, and here for this one second row as well as second column, right? Understood carefully, because these are the kind of logics you have to implement in future also. Okay, I am just showing you only one logic to understand carefully, so that once in the future I am going to show you one of the few more logics to be applied on this same multi-dimension arrays. Now see that here 0 0, here 1 and 1, here 2 and 2 is same, right? Yes or no? Nothing but in these 3 places my row index as well as column index are same, yes or no? Now as a programmer, what you need to do is, you have to find out where is this rows and column indexes are same, yes or no? So for that I will try to write simple program. Okay, so I will try to implement this program, little extension on this. So what is the logic? I am writing a for loop to find the index of rows and columns are equal, right? Wherever your rows and column indexes are equal, I just want to find out the logic for that. First thing is, for loop which represents your row is equals to 0, row is less than, for how many rows we have? 3 rows we have. How many columns we have? Again we have 3 columns for every row, right? And again write one more for loop, column is equals to 0. So your column is less than for 3 times, and say column plus plus. Yes, within this particular two for loops, within this loops of for, one is represents your row, one is represents your column. Here you need to find out where is your rows and columns are equal. At this place you have to recall the simple if else statement. Yes or no? Wherever row and column are equal, first I want to print the sum, just printing that elements. System dot out dot println A of R and C. So sorry, it is the name of array is X, right? Then just go to the next line. Okay, so I am writing a println statement, right? I am just writing only print statement. After printing a first element, give a space between next element. Okay. Now save this particular program again and go to command prompt once again. Just clear the screen. Now what is the program we have? Java C demo 11.java is the name of our program. Compile this program now. Once you compile this program, execute this program demo 11, asking for a few elements, say 1, 2, 3 is a row 1, 4, 5, 6 row 2, 7, 8, 9 row 3. See that here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this is the customized output of our array, in which we are trying to find out the elements of 1 and 5 and 9. So what is the elements we have printed here? 1, 5, 9. Yes or no? So almost we have completed the first requirement of the program first of all, right? There are a few questions they may ask you in interviews. First question is, how do you print these elements? Nothing but they ask you a question that, can you print the diagonal elements of this multi-dimensional array? The question is same and the answer you have to implement the simple logic is this one, right? Wherever your rows and column indexes are same, you need to print those elements. That is the first requirement of the question is. And the second requirement of the question is, I want to find the sum of these three elements. So what is the sum we will get here? The sum will be 5 first index, second index again 5, 1. So how much it is? 5 plus 5, 10 plus 1. It's supposed to be printed as 11. So how do you I print it? It's pretty simple. Alright, so just write a simple system dot out dot println statement, make that cursor to the next line so that, okay, just giving a 2 next line sign, so cursor moving to the next line, write it as what is, I'll write a diagonal elements, right, otherwise diagonal elements, your diagonal elements, or so whatever the elements will be pasted, that will be listed out. Now once again you can compile your program now. Execute this program, enter the row 1 elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the row 2 elements, 7, 8, 9 is row 3 elements. See that you got the diagonal elements as 1, 5, 9. So I want to find the sum of this. So I want to find the sum of this, nothing but I got the elements which is located in those locations, but I want to find the sum of this. How to find it? It is pretty simple. Go to the same program, right? On the top of this program, try to define a variable called integer sum. Sum is a default variable. I am just defining it as 0 now. Okay, variable called sum, and by default defining as 0. Now this variable I will print at the end after finding my logic, right? Somewhere here at the end of this particular program, I will write it as system dot out dot println. Say give a one next line, again write one more system dot out dot println statement. You can say sum is equals to, place this sum here. Okay, but before this we need to write the logic to find the sum. Yes or no? Logic has to be written here. How do I write the logic for this? Right. First I will give a simple couple of spaces, println, right. wherever you write a multiple statements, wherever you write a multi-dimensional array, compulsory it required minimum of 2 for loops, right. R is define it as 0, R is less than for 3 times say R plus plus, open, close. Get into for inner for loop, write one more loop, C is equals to 0, C is less than for 3 times say C plus plus. Okay. Okay. Now what I want to do is, if wherever the row value and column index, I am just say indexes not values, okay. Wherever your rows and column indexes are same, okay, what I want to find out is sum plus is equals to x of your row and column, right. What is the meaning of this statement is, it is pretty simple, sum is equals to sum plus x of R and C. Am I very clear now? See that this statement, the meaning of this statement is sum is equals to sum plus x of sum. By default sum value we have defined it as 0, right. 0 plus add something, it will become something, yes or no. So if I add something 5 or 10 or something like that, it will be added. At end of this logic, I am going to print you this sum value here. Already I have written here sum, right. So that sum has to be print at the end of this particular program. So once again just clear the screen, compile your program, execute this particular program, asking for a number of inputs to this program. One, 2, 3 row 1, 4, 5, 6 row 2, 7, 8, 9 row 3. See that this is your array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and the diagonal elements are 1, 5, 9 and the sum of this will be 9 plus 5 14 plus 1 15. Our sum is expected sum becomes as 15 now. Am I very clear now? The logic is pretty simple, you need to understand very simple logic here. You need to understand this simple logic so that the program is finished. And same way I am going to define you one more variable called a product, nothing but I want to find out here the multiplication of the diagonal elements, right. So the product in the sense by default I am not defining as 0 because 0 is 0 cross something, it becomes as 0. So that whenever you do product, try to define it as 1, 1 cross something, it becomes as something, okay. Alright, so now let me go to this particular place. At the end of this logic, I need to print what? I need to print this particular, say print ln. Now say system dot out dot println. So at the end of this logic, I want to print product is equals to say product. This is how what I need to print here. Before this, I need to again implement my logic here. So what is the logic I need to implement here? It's pretty simple logic. R is equals to 0, R is less than for 3 times R plus plus, open close, then again write for loop, integer column is equals to 0. So column is less than for 3 times say column plus plus, right. Okay. Next, wherever this row value, wherever the index of row and column both are same, previously I was sum, now I have to multiply them. Product cross is equals to x of R comma C. What is the meaning of this particular statement is product is equals to product cross x of R comma C, right. So at the end we need to print the product here. So we have already printed the particular product here. So now let me save this program, go to command prompt. Now let me close it once. Yes, okay, I have a file here. Now let me compile this program now. Javac demo 11.java is the name of the file. Execute this program demo 11. 1, 2, 3 is first row, 4, 5, 6 second row, 7, 8, 9 third row. So see that what is the diagonal elements here 1, 5, 9. The sum will becomes as 15 and the cross will becomes as 45. See that 9 cross 5 45, cross 1 it becomes as again 45. Now very clear guys, these are the examples will be most important when you go for interviews on Java. Okay. In Java the basic questions they ask you like this. Am I very clear with this example? Right. So once you practice this example, so that you will also get an idea how to find the logics here, right. So this is the first kind of interview question, and there is a second type of interview question also. What is the second type of interview question is, now you have gone fine with a forward diagonal, right. Now I want to go for reverse diagonal. There is a in interview they ask you to, they have a chance to ask the questions on reverse diagonal elements. See that 6, 5 and 9. Now nothing but you need to print either 6 or 9 and 5, right. They ask you a question like this also. Previously we have gone through with the forward diagonal, now it is the reverse diagonal. What kind of logic has to be implemented for this? Yes or no? If you just understand here, the indexes of these two, here index of this one and here index of this one. Whenever if I am combining all the indexes, nothing but plus 0 plus 2, 2, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 0, 2, nothing but in all these directions your indexes are n minus 1, yes or no. Here n is a size, how much size we have given for the array? We have given the size as 3, right. So that wherever your indexes are n minus 1, then automatically you can get these 3 elements here. Yes or no? Previously we gone through with a forward diagonal. So wherever the indexes are same we have printed. Now here the indexes we are addition the indexes, and the indexes addition supposed to be equals to n minus 1, where n represents the size of array. Now what is the size we have given for this? We have given the size as 3, right. So this size has to be minus 1, nothing but 2. Wherever you can go for this in this particular entire array, you can't get an idea or you can't get any size or you can't get any indexes, element size will be n minus 1. Okay. So nothing but just add any other indexes, say that 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 2 3, 2 plus 2 4, 2 plus 1 3. There is only 3 places your indexes becomes n minus 1. So you need to find out. So simple logic you need to write that wherever your indexes becomes n minus 1, you have to print those elements here. Now let me, okay, so I will do one thing, I am not going to disturb this program. So now let me go to the one more program to show you reverse diagonal elements here. Import a few packages. First package is java.lang package. Get all the classes of lang package, and it is a util dot a class name called a scanner class, and try to write the name of the file is say demo12, the name of the class is same as your file name now, public static void main, try to write a string args okay. Now let me tell you very in detail about this static void main method in tomorrow's session, because tomorrow's talk about only purely on methods concept. Say First create the scanner class object. C1 is my object name, scanner class. Input will be a system.in, is a system is a class name and in is a static member of the class. Okay, right. Followed by create one multi-dimensional array now. So this is multi-dimensional array representation. Name of array is say A1. New integer and give a size of this. Size is 3 and column size is also 3. Alright. So first read the elements to this particular array. Say pretty simple, integer r value define it as 0 less than 3 r plus plus. Again go for one more for loop and column value is equals to 0. Column is less than for 3 times, nothing but every row contains 3 columns here. Open and again close them. Okay. Now what I want to do is I just want to read the elements for A1 array now. A1 of R and C is equals to, what is the object name of scanner class? C1. Method name is nextInt. We will read all the elements to this. Okay. After reading these elements, I just want to print them or write the elements or whatever it is. Right. Again write one more for loop. Integer r is equals to 0. R is less than for 3 times. So say r plus plus. Right, say integer column is equals to 0. Column is less than for 3 times, say column plus plus. Now just need to write a system.out.print statement here. Print statement to print the value of A1 of R and C. Give a space between each and every element, right, and make the cursor to the next line, system.out.println. Alright. So once it is done, I want to print a reverse diagonal elements. Right. So how do I print it? It is pretty simple. I will just do one thing. I don't have much time. Just copy this program, writing a 2 for loops, but I will just remove the inner logic here. Here also I remove this. Okay. So but I will just write a simple logic to be a part of this R plus C. Nothing but wherever row and column indexes are same, nothing but equals to 2, or sometime you can write n minus 1 also. So when you write n minus 1, your n value is supposed to be size of array now. Say system.out.print statement A1 of R and C, which give you the reverse diagonal element. Okay. Now first save this particular program and the location in the same demo12 is the name of the file. Extension of this program is .java. Make them all files. Save this particular program and go to command prompt. First compile your Java program, javac demo12.java is the name of the file, and execute this particular program demo12. Say 1, 2, 3 is the first row, 4, 5, 6 second row, 7, 8, 9 is the third row. You have to print the reverse diagonal. What is the reverse diagonal elements here? 3, 5 and 7. You can just see that your reverse diagonal elements are printed. Okay. So if you are a bit confused, let them write a few next line statements here. save this program, compile it, execute it, 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay. So, your reverse diagonal elements are what? 3, 5, 7. 3, 5 and 7 is your reverse diagonal elements. Alright. Am I very clear with this example? These are the questions they may ask you in interview on multidimensional arrays. Okay. So, that is it for the day, and this is all about arrays concept, single dimension and multidimensional arrays, and tomorrow's class will be on methods of Java. What are the different kinds of methods are there in Java and how to use those methods and what are the importance of the methods in Java. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to us. Have a great day. By the way, I am Anil Kumar, the trainer of APSSDC.